Me being successful does not mean my kids are going to be successful, even if I teach them everything that I know and how to do it. Most of the films I signed were discards of better-known actors, and the producers could not find anyone else to do them. I did them all to make sure that I was working to avoid unemployment. I just didn't want to be poor. I worked very hard. There were other people around it, and I became a big star. The films became big hits. So I believe the true path to success is through the fear of failure. George Burns said that acting is all about honesty. If you can fake that, you've got it made. And he couldn't have defined it better. Honest and fake, yes, that's what I feel as a creative person all the time. Many a nights I have gone back home after receiving an award, pumped up and all happy, and just to read on the internet that what I really deserved was the golden banana for the worst actor of the year award. Yeah, it's called Kela Awards or something like that, yeah. And I become heartbroken, angry, and completely convinced that bananas and critics both should have their skins peeled and fed to the monkeys. I momentarily lose my ability to give and close up. And here's where the trick is. When you are in this place of despair, when you walk out of this college, this university, and walk the path of life, where the world is tearing you down into yourself, there's only one thing you can do to survive. Hang on to who you are inside. Life as a creative person is like walking on a tightrope. I have to keep balancing. I have to keep the balance. I begin to lose myself in my own melodrama. It is frustrating that I find myself living up to other people's interpretation of what I ought to be. And when faced with dissent or unappreciation, I start losing my love affair with my own audience. It becomes a tight balance act to keep doing what I do best and not be bothered by the reactions of the people I do it for in the first place. I dance harder, I cartwheel longer, and I pirouette on my rope, stretched taut beneath my feet, and I try not to slip. I can slide but never fall. And all this while, I have to keep a smile on my face and keep signing autographs and taking pictures. And why do I do this? Because I'm a funambulist, trying to balance my action and exterior reaction to my naked show of who I am inside. Yet when I'm playing this real-life illusion out, more often than not, my honest self is sitting in the audience, applauding my performance while laughing heartily at my own stupidity. So my little kids and friends here, learn to laugh at yourself too. Whether I like it or not, my life has also been in constant play with what the world calls success. Me being successful does not mean my kids are going to be successful, even if I teach them everything that I know and how to do it. So I feel that talking about success is completely a big waste of time. Instead, let me tell you very honestly, whatever happened to me happened because I've always been terrified of failure. I don't want as much to succeed as much as I don't want to fail. I come from a very normal, lower middle class family. I saw a lot of failure. My father was a beautiful man and the most successful failure in the world. My mother also failed to stay long enough with me to see me become a big movie star. We were quite poor actually, and let me tell you, poverty is not an ennobling experience at all. Poverty entails fear and stress and sometimes depression. I watched my parents go through this several times. At an early age after my parents died, I equated poverty with failure. I just didn't want to be poor. So when I got a chance to act in films, it wasn't out of any creative desire. I say this honestly. It was purely out of the fear of failure and poverty. Most of the films I signed were discards of better-known actors, and the producers could not find anyone else to do them. I did them all to make sure that I was working to avoid unemployment. The timing or something was right. I worked very hard. There were other people around it. And I became a big star. The films became big hits, which means sometimes our success is not the direct result of our actions. And let nobody tell you that. Success sometimes just happens, really. It is accidental, and we have to take credit for it. I do it sometimes surely out of embarrassment. So I believe the true path to success is through the fear of failure. If you aren't scared enough of failing, you're unlikely to succeed.